You gotta bite the bullet, Bridge, and tell us everything. Kate ordered as she handed her menu back to the impatient waitress after ordering the chicken carbonara. The 40-something women were gathered at their favorite table, in the corner at their favorite place. Every waitress that worked the evening shift knew them, even though they only managed to coordinate their schedules for dinner about 6 times a year, which required a marathon of catching up on families, dating and work war stories. They always ordered the bread pudding for dessert and talked until the entire staff would check in their watches because the restaurant and being closed for 40 minutes. All the chairs except theirs were turned over on the tabletops, and all the floors had been mopped except their corner. Then they would spend an average of 62 minutes more in the parking lot leaning on one of their free cars talking until the lot was empty, and the street lights had flickered on and robustly like a swarm of flies. Bridget waited for the waitress to get some distance from the table, and she leaned in closer to Kate and Meredith. To be honest, I don't know where to begin. You know, I've basically been burning the candle at both ends with both my jobs. Do I really like this guy, or am I just desperate not to be a single workaholic anymore? Maybe I just don't want to be alone anymore, and I'm delirious from working 70 hours a week and I'm settling for this guy. She said and dropped her head in her hands. Meredith leaned in. He could totally be the one, don't you think? You know that I'm not a love at first sight kind of girl. Bridget sighed with air quotes and a roll of her eyes. Go out on a limb, they always say, but I'm scared stiff of becoming my mother, who's always hung at the end of her rapidly fraying rope because my jerk father always managed to pull the wool over her eyes when we were sleeping around and left her holding the bag time and time again. Kate was nodding, such a bold-faced liar. Right, Bridget agreed. Meredith looked down and whispered, maybe your dad was never really in love with your mom. Maybe he was looking for his soulmate. Oh, Mare, you always gave him the benefit of the doubt, even when the jerk didn't deserve it. Bridget loved Meredith for her optimism, but she could never give her father that much leeway. She saw what he did to her mom. Meredith always sees the best in everyone and is incapable of going to the dark and twisted side. Bridget decided to confess to her best friends, so I met him online as singles. Swipe to the left deal. Kate and Meredith leaned in, handing on Bridget's every word. It's the moment of truth. How old is he? Kate interjected. Bridget hedged. He is a tiny bit older than me. Kate, like how much is a tiny bit? Kate pushed. Bridget covered her face with her hands and mumbled something. What? Kate screamed, and then scanned the restaurant to see how many people were looking at her. Not enough people were staring to be worried about. She shook Bridget by the arms. Spill it, Bridge. How old is he? Social Security old. Maybe. Kate and Meredith exchanged a glance and said nothing. After a long moment, Kate just exhaled a deep sigh. Oh girl, tell us, how much older? 18 years, she whispered. So like 1 foot in the grave. Kate giggled. Like mature and secure. Meredith asked. Like hit the panic button because this guy has a daughter my age. Whoa, Kate sighed. Okay girl, moment of truth. Clearly Mr. Older and Wiser has something that keeps bringing you back. You gotta stop beating around the bush. You've been dating for a few months now. Right, I decided. You only live once. I can't let this door close. We've been going out for almost 3 months. Bridget took a breath and smiled. Meredith matched her smile. What is he doing that makes you smile like that? My grandma used to say this about my grandpa, and I never knew what it meant until now. He's the salt of the earth. I feel like I should be scared to death, but I'm as calm as a winter's day. He listens when I talk to him. He hears me. I feel safe with him. Suddenly the waitress was there juggling plates. She could tell she had stopped the conversation, so she dropped the plates quickly and left the table aside. When the waitress' back was turned, they exchanged plates so that everyone had the meal they ordered. Each of the women unwrapped their silverware and started to dive into their dinners. Kate was the first to break the silence, so spill the beans. He can be the perfect man. What does he do that drives you insane? She pointed her carbonara-covered fork at her. Bridget laughed right out loud. She swallowed her bite of pot pie. Buying a moment. He always wants to drive. Get the car door. Open the door for me. He's totally a gentleman and I have absolutely no idea what to do with that. You spent 30 years getting your own door and you don't really know what to do with that. And he can totally be a chatty Cathy. I've never met a man that talks more than you do, Kate. Each of them laughed together, but seriously. He has 3 kids from his first marriage. 3 kids, and the oldest one is only a few years younger than I am. What do I even do with that? If things work out, I will be a mom to 3 people my age. How crazy is that? Maybe you could more of a friend than a mom. Hold on, Mare. Did you say first marriage? Exactly how many times has this man carried a woman over the threshold or something? Kate exclaimed. Only twice. Twice. You've not even done this 1 time. 3 times is the charm, they say. Mare chimed in. I know this, Kate. Believe me, it keeps me up nights. She dug her fork in and swallowed the innards of her pot pie. But you should hear the way he talks about his second wife. He adored her. I worry that he's looking for her again. And I'm nothing like her. Where's this magical woman? Bridget looked down at her plate and swallowed the fake lump in her throat. She died. She had a pulmonary embolism. She died in his arms. There was nothing he could do. It broke his heart. That is so terribly sad. Even Kate had to take a minute with this information. There was silence as they finished up the food on their plates. Meredith ordered the bread pudding and started the conversation back up again. Have you met the kids? I bet they will love you as much as we do. Not yet. We are just getting to know each other. And you know how slow I am. He's holding back because of me. It must be like watching pain drive him. But he's still here. Of course, he is. You are worth the wait. Thanks, Mare. I don't know. He's probably going to wake up one day and wonder what he was thinking. The bread pudding came, and Bridget tried to turn the conversation to Meredith and Kate, pushing Meredith to tell them about her trip to Bahamas. Kate finally jumped in to share about her drama-driven co-worker Kelly, who was on her last nerve. The servers were beginning to clean the restaurant around them and overturning chairs onto the table. They paid the check and as was tradition, they moved the conversation to the parking lot. They ended up leaning against Kate's tiny bright pink Honda Fit with a scratch on the passenger side when she sideswiped a parking structure clone. So, what happens next, friend? Kate pushed, with Mr. Wonderful. Meredith could see Bridget blushing even in the dying light. I don't know, but I don't want him to leave. I'm a little addicted to the man who listens to me and takes care of me this way. She leaned into the circle laughing. He completes me. Yay! Meredith cheered while clapping. When are we going to meet this legend? Soon. Sometime soon. I must make sure he is knee-deep in love so that you don't change his mind. Bridget said, winking at Kate. Deal. We will love him because we love you. He is damn lucky to have you. It was a wise man who swiped right on the photo of your face. Ah, shucks. Bridget put them into her arms. Broke up. I promised to try and not screw it up. She laughed. Bridget walked over to her car, opened her door, and stood poised to get behind the wheel. Love you awesome nerds, she shouted. Kate put open her car and pointed at Bridget. Kate's eyes filled with tears. You got this. I feel good about this one, even though he's an old guy. I'll bring a walker to the wedding. Meredith agreed. She held up her hands in the shape of a heart and nodded at Bridget. You've got this, Bridge. You've got this.